This is where we left in our previous video. In today's video, I want us to see how we can utilize Tailwind CSS 4.0 in our React application. First, I want to get rid of app.css file, and then in our src folder, create a new folder. Let us call it pages. Inside the pages folder, create a new file, home.jsx. Let us call it home. Then in our entry file, that is the app.jsx, import the home file. Let us refresh. There we have it. Then in our home file, let us change the background of the page, something like a gray 400. Let's take the entire screen. I want to create several divs. The first one is the title div. Then we have some cards. So for the title, I want to say something like homepage. I want to center that, so I will use flex, justify, center. So let us try to change the font size by saying text to Excel. Even put it in uppercase. Then you can add a line. You can change the color. Say something like red, and then a shade of 400. Let us use the word wrap. Let's use green. Yeah, just for demonstration purposes. And then for the cards, I want to create 3 different cards. So first, second, that. So for the first card, there should be a self-closing div. So I want the width to be 200 pixels. The same for the height. Then for the background, I want to use a bar 300. Then I want to copy and duplicate 2 times. Then Shift Alt F. So I want to change the color of the third div, something like green. For the second one, I want to use purple. As you can see, they are stuck on top of each other. I want to arrange them in a row direction. So all I need to do is to target the container div. So class name, and then we want to take the entire width, full, then flex. I also want to add some gap to separate the cards. I also want to add some margin at the top. So I'll say margin top 4. I also want to center them. So I'd say justify center. Now if you check on large screens, this is what we have. I want to trim the edges of the first card. To achieve that, I'll say rounded. We can try MD, slightly rounded. We can try to Excel, and then to have a circle, you can use use full, and then we can add some border. We can try to make it thicker. We can choose a higher number or even a higher one. Then we can also change the border color. Let's settle for number 100. Yeah, now I want to apply the same effect on these two other cards. So all I need to do is to copy the effects and then paste them. To make multiple selection, all you need to do is to click and then hold down the Alt key and then click on the next card and then we paste. I also want to make sure that they are of the same color, so let's change this to a bar and then a bar. Let me drag this one a little bit. Now, as you can see, we are applying the same effects, but we are doing a lot of repetition. To avoid this, we can use some global classes. All we have to do is to go into our index.css file, then we use at layer base, then we define a class, then we apply the styles. So let us go back into our home page, then cut the styles, just cut, and then we use the class we just defined, that is the card, back into our index.css file, paste the styles. As you can see, they are applied. Then in the subsequent cards, we just have to cut and use that class. Then we cut, use that class. As you can see, we are achieving the same effects, but with little code. Now, if you want to change anything that should be applied across the cards, you don't have to keep on changing each and every line of code, but you just have to change it from the CSS file. Like if you want to change the height and the width, just use that in larger screens, so the styles are applied uniformly. Let us take it back to 200. In fact, what I want to do is to use 200, but from medium screen onwards, we want the width to be 400 pixels. From medium onwards, we want the height to be 400 pixels, such that if you make the screen a bit smaller, yeah, but as you can see, they are not taking a rounded shape. So what we need to do is to go back into our home page, target the container div and say use the flex wrap. Yeah, so as the screen gets larger, you can see, yeah, amazing responsiveness. So yeah, that is it for this video. I'll be teaching you more about Tailwind and React in the subsequent videos. If you liked the video, kindly consider liking, subscribing and sharing for more tutorials like this one. Thank you.